Welcome back to Tyreek Talk. Walking into the Whitney Museum during the 2026 Biennial, you begin to feel how this exhibition is not just about what we see, but about how we assign meaning, value, and care to art itself. The Whitney, long engaged with the social frameworks of art, becomes a space where those questions are made visible. Curated by Marcela Guerrero and Drew Sawyer, this biennial brings together artists who are deeply aware of the systems surrounding art, its institutions, its economies, and its emotional weight. And Andrea Fraser's work speaks directly to that awareness. Fraser is known for her conceptual practice, often examining the structures that define the art world, how art is valued, how it is displayed, and how audiences engage with it. But here, in the Whitney Biennial, that critique takes on a deeply emotional and almost intimate form. Her sculptures, untitled Object IV, depict sleeping toddlers. At first, they appear quiet, almost peaceful. There's a softness to them, a sense of stillness and vulnerability. But as you spend time with the work, that calm begins to shift into something more complex. Fraser describes these figures as allegorical figures of art objects, and that idea changes how you see them. The children are not just representations of innocence or rest, they become stand-ins for artworks themselves, objects that require attention, that depend on care, that hold emotional and psychological value beyond their material form. And materially, these sculptures reinforce that idea. They are made from wax that never fully hardens. Unlike traditional sculpture, which often emphasizes permanence and durability, these works remain soft, unstable, and fragile. They cannot exist unprotected. Because of this, they are encased in plexiglass. That enclosure creates a tension. You can see them clearly, but you cannot access them. They are protected, preserved, and separated. Much like artworks in a museum, the glass becomes both a barrier and a safeguard. And within that space, the sculptures seem to ask something of you. To look, to care, to consider your own role as a viewer. Within the Whitney Biennial, this resonates deeply. This exhibition is concerned with relationships between people, systems, and structures. Fraser brings that conversation into the emotional realm, asking how art itself functions within those relationships. What does it mean to value an artwork? What does it mean to care for it? And how much of that value is shaped by the systems that surround it? These questions become even more layered through the presentation of her work alongside paintings by her mother, Carmen de Monteflores. This pairing introduces a personal dimension. Mother and daughter. Two artists, two generations, presented together within the same space. It creates a dialogue not only about art, but about inheritance, of ideas, of practice, of experience. The sculptures, with their focus on care and emotional need, take on new meaning when seen in relation to this familial connection. The Whitney's space amplifies this encounter. As you move through the galleries, you feel the layering of perspectives: historical, personal, institutional. Fraser's work sits within that intersection, quietly but powerfully. And what stays with you is not just the image of the sculptures, but the feeling they evoke. A sense of responsibility, a sense of vulnerability, a sense that art, like these figures, is not fixed or self-contained, but dependent on the ways we engage with it. Within the Whitney Biennial 2026, Andrea Fraser's work becomes more than a conceptual statement. It becomes a reflection on what art needs and on what it asks from all of us.